I think there's a period where you need to isolate and really focus on yourself because distractions, they really slow you down and get you off the wrong path.
Like let's say when Kobe had a game and he won the game, he didn't care because that's what he's supposed to do. But when he lost the game, he would constantly think about it, think what he did wrong.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video for Next Gen Traders. This time we're doing a January recap and only Alex could make it this time. But you know, this is gonna be great. I think we had some crazy months, at least I did, with some wild swings, honestly. And then I also took a little bit of a break, like a week break from Discord and Twitter, and I'll talk about the benefits of that. Um, Alex, do you want to start this time?
Yeah. So our last episode was the recap of 2022.
Yep.
So since that, like me personally, I like shifted, tried to learn the listed and everything, and it's been hard, but I'm still like keeping the positive mindset because I know that the way I had the 2022, it's all because I was struggling before 2021. So like I'm ready to like go through that again and all that. But just overall, it's been hard. Like I would say it's been hard this month,
Yeah.
but I just I just knew that if I just keep going, I would get somewhere. And since like we're doing it here after the 3 days of February, yeah, I had a I'll show that trade too. Like I had a great trade like this month that kind of literally made all my drawdown back. But I was
Yeah.
talking about everything that I did in January too, like how I was trying to learn everything else. But just overall, yeah, just keeping head up, I guess. Just never giving up. And so that was like the theme for January, I would say. Just constantly keep pushing it.
Yeah, and this is probably the hottest month we've seen in like a while. So we're honestly just getting used to like the craziness. Like there's big runners every day and every single market, there's movers. And honestly, this January and already bleeding into February has probably been hotter than all of 2022. Like it's been really crazy.
And that was like the struggle for me because I came to the listed and January was insane for listed. But also,
Yeah.
and like I was like sitting there on the sidelines when everything was like going crazy because I'm not like
Mm-hmm.
can't trade like that. So it was very hard, like in that part, because everybody was like, especially like on Twitter, everyone was like making money, and I'm like here sitting
Yeah.
like what do I do? But
Yeah.
I mean, that's you have to go through these phases. So
Yep, for sure. All right, so I'll get right into it and I'll show some trades. So this month I basically, well, actually I'll first start out with GNS, and all of you should know, if you're a trader, you should know what this run was and you know how it kind of played out. Let me go to like a 3 minute.
no,
So,
you haven't been using Thinkorswim on the videos in a while.
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, so this run was really insane. And honestly, we were having like ever since I would say November, it's been pretty hot. Like there have been a few 100% plus runners, maybe a couple every week. But you know, after this GNS, they really started picking up and things started getting crazy. So we had this intraday run. Um, the in the morning, I just thought, okay, it's a regular, you know, it's a regular penny stock. They usually fail after the open, like they push over the highs and then fail. But this one actually went higher, and you could see the volume was pushing over 4 million. This consolidation right here, where it was like usually penny stocks, they're super clean, and you know once they clear out over the open highs or whatever, you know they fail and they fade all day. All right, but this one had another leg and it held, and it was pushing over 4 million volume. Well, on the 3 minute, it was still pushing large volume on the 1 minute. But this is where a lot of the big traders like Jack Kellogg, and other people, like pretty much everyone was long this, I feel like right here. Like so many people long this starting right here on this push. And that's when it started getting really crazy. I mean, we were up over 150% at that point. Um, so yeah, I mean, and it continued into pre-market, or sorry, after hours, and then broke new highs in pre-market. So it was just a crazy run. Going into this trade, I had a whole plan based on previous moves. So you could see, I mean, like it's crazy how clean it kept the trend, but it was up. let's see. At the highs, it was up almost 1,000%. And so my plans coming into it pre-market, I got to the screens around, well, 7 a.m. I saw this at around 7 a.m. And I wasn't eager to short it pre-market because of, I mean, even though it's up so much, I thought, maybe it would top out pre-market and it would open kind of down here. And if it did that, I would assume and I would hope that it would go test highs and trap. But best case scenario in my head at this point was I want it to run into open, because when they run into open, that's really ideal for a short right into the open or after it makes a blow off move. And it actually did exactly what I really, really hoped it did, and thus I nailed it. So I'll show the charts on that. I actually took, I think, a bit of a loss on the previous day. Let me try to find this chart. Yeah, there we go. So this was the first day where I had a crazy run. I was pretty patient until midday. It was up, I don't know, like it was up 300% or 200% at this point or something like that. I took a small little cut and then I hit it backside after it halted. So it halted up. I mean, it was halting all day, but it halted down and then it trapped and broke highs, but then failed to run any further. So I thought, okay, that's probably the temporary top at least. So I got a starter. And if you guys follow me on Twitter, you know that I started pyramiding a lot more. A great follow is Short Bear on Twitter, and he inspired this. He's honestly got a lot of the community pyramiding now, and a lot of my friends. It's been really a great time and experience pyramiding, and reviewing every single day to try to improve the pyramiding, because it's really interesting how big of size you can get with like break even or small loss. That's the goal with it at least. So I sized in with, you could see a very tight stop. So the stop started up here, and then it tightened in as I sized in. And I stopped out 10 minutes.
I wanna add here.
Yeah.
I recently realized what I was doing with OT breakouts is called pyramiding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I
Yeah,
was
you
doing
do it really
nonsense.
well.
It's
That's how
it's
you get
really
like
not.
10, 20,
Yes.
30 yard gains.
Yeah, that's how like I can get the huge position size reaching like the same R or even like break even.
Yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
how you get the big trades. Like even though it's like, you can move the risk too quick and you can stop out. But then if you
Yeah.
work, it's like huge risk reward.
Yeah, there's a balance, and it's really good when you master it. So yeah, this one was really good. Honestly, when it did this stunt up here, like it reclaimed, I really wish I was willing to have a long bias on this thing. When there are big outlier moves, I want to get better at being able to long them and have different biases, and have different plans. Not just one plan, which is, okay, it's up 200%, let me short. I want to plan like, okay, this is basing, it's 15, or sorry, it's 3 o'clock. We're almost closing. We have an hour till close, but we're still making new highs. We're probably, like a lot of other plays, we're probably gonna run into after hours, and then have a nice pre-market trade the next day. So I wish I had long there, like a lot of people actually did long there. It's a really good trade. But then the next day, I came prepared with a great plan, which was, like I told you, A plus. My idea was, okay, let's run right into the open. We literally ran 1000% without a single trend break into the open of the next day. And it was perfect. So my confirmation was, we tried to trap and break out over the pre-market highs, but we failed. And then the final confirmation was the stuff move. So I hit right after the stuff move. I slammed. And you could see I kept stops really tight because I was going for a huge like I was just expecting a complete wash down. Now these stops aren't full, they're like trims. So I was getting in big size, just trimming. I think I was risking probably like 2R on this. My stop was pretty tight, but it's an A plus trade, so it deserves more size. And I got, thanks to pyramiding, I trimmed, re-entered, and I was in full size with really, really tight risk reward. Now, I regret covering some, although my plan worked out pretty much perfectly. My plan was to cover some and reshort on a major bounce so that I could capture more of the range. So I pretty much covered over 50% on these scale outs, and then I reshorted above my cover average. So I captured more of the range. So I was full size here, and I'm completely shocked it didn't fail and flush further here. I was expecting like red to green at least. Like I was hoping for red to green for the end of day flush, but they totally saved it and got an exit at the end of day. And I mean, honestly, yeah, I think I shorted it the next day too or something like that. But it was pretty trappy, and it's been trappy ever since this day. I mean, this is pretty much a meme stock of sorts because of the CEO and his agenda behind it, where he's, the naked short sellers, like this, it's this whole new trend with the naked
Yeah.
short sellers,
Like,
and it has like a cult following. So I knew there was a lot of dumb money in this stock. And that's why I thought, it's up 1,000%, a lot of dumb money. It's a really clean pattern. So I hit it hard, and I'm really glad with how I hit it. Honestly, I wish I sized a little bit more, but you know, um, I'm not used to, I don't trust myself to have the right thesis, honestly, because I'm a system trader. So I get confidence from data, and these outliers, I mean, it's hard, you can't really systematize them really. I mean, you can, but it's just better if you're discretionary, honestly. But yeah, you could see it. I think I shorted it the next day, and then they had like a sell the news setup, and then they trapped it. But I really wish I was, like I said, I had a long bias, because after they had like a conference or some kind of live stream, it sold the news, and then it still held up after doing that. So that was a clear long signal, and it just went way crazier than I thought it could go. Um, but yeah, overall, interesting
what was
setup.
the R? Tell us.
Let me check the R.
It was 9.
It was 9. You remember, and I don't. Guys, I
Yeah.
took 200 trades this month. I have no idea. So
I
it was
remember this.
9R. Yeah, I remember now. 9R. That's really really great. If it faded more, it probably would have been 15R,
Yes,
which is
yeah.
crazy.
So it's like
Um,
it was like 9R, but like not the best case scenario.
yeah, right, right. I mean, yeah, it played out just perfect up until the end, and then luckily it didn't do anything crazy before, but still a solid trade. Quickly going over to some more. We had a crazy, like I said, there have been so many 100% runners in this market. It's crazy. We had a halt. And I hit on kind of like the first
Purple dollar.
weakness kind of reversal. Now I didn't chase in because I was really, really hoping for a bounce. So I waited for this bounce, and I got super lucky. So I hit it harder, and then had a tight stop over these levels, like I'm pyramiding on these trades. And I covered, hoping to reshort higher. I mean, I didn't really get a good enough bounce to reshort, so I just reshorted at my average, cover average. So it's basically like I never covered. And then I covered out in a day. It was a phenomenal trade
Oh,
and great
pretty clean.
fade. Yeah.
Looks very clean.
And then this one, I'm really proud of this trade because of how, you know, I really like to see my losers on the pyramids, and I want to see like, okay, in terms of R's and in terms of overall big picture, was it better than just going in one bullet, one exit? In this case scenario, it was. So I really sized in a lot. And this wick is fake, by the way. It's just an 8 a.m. DOS weird wick. But I added as it kept confirming. Um, and I tightened my stop pretty tight. And as you can see, I started trimming once we got over levels, and then rehitting and then trimming. I think overall it was like -1R here, which is great, because that means I got huge size while also keeping a tight stop and lost my expected amount. And then up until the open, I shorted some. Yeah, that was before the open. Um, I shorted some because I expected, okay, we might just tank out of the open, like a lot of cases where we run into the open. So I shorted a little bit, and then I stopped out after a reclaim, and then I rehit it even more. And then like I said, with pyramiding, I'm adding down, I'm lowering my stop, and this fade was just beautiful. My first, I don't know. Usually I'm not the person to do this, but I scaled out some. I don't know why. I think I was in like 4 positions, and all of them were good, and I was up like 15R or something crazy like that. And I was like, man, like it was so hard not to cover. I think this is like a quarter, and then this is like full out here at the end of day. Um, but it was just so hard. And I'm scared because I'm scared like holding all the way to end of day once I started pyramiding, because your stop is so tight and your average is tight, so that any little bounce is like a threat to stopping you out. So I've got to either, use data, review, and find the answer to that. But yeah, that's all the trades that I'll show today. I mean, you can pretty much look at the chart and then expect what I would have done based on my execution. This month has been really great. I'll show the stats here. So I ended it net 52R. Yeah, I had like this run is insane. Like really, really an insane run. But I also, like I said, I had a lot of swings this month. So I had a really good start. I was up 20R in the first 5 days, and then I had a huge drawdown. So I was down like, what was that, like 20R? More than 20R. Yeah. But then I had a crazy run. I mean, I don't know, it's just crazy. Like the market is so hot, and my pyramiding has obviously worked. Like I can do pyramid here and look at
Maybe
the
I should also
stats on
get
there.
that. I should
Yeah,
also
I mean,
get that pyramid.
yeah, I mean these are crazy stats with pyramiding. Let's see. Yeah, like really, really good. Even with a 40% win rate and good risk reward, I mean it was great. Now, so yeah, these are my stats of my system, of my overall trading. Um, Honestly, not the best stats. I mean, pretty low risk reward overall and pretty low win rate overall. You can see the profit factor is low, but I had a ton of trades. Um, and so I have like three different things I'm doing right now. I have like my longs, I have my discretionary shorts, and then I have my main system. Now, my main system has all the risk pretty much. It has like 95% of the risk. And then the other stuff is just practice for experience. Now my main system made like, I think it was like 15R this month, and my other stuff made like the majority. So you can kind of imagine the P&L. For my main system, it was a bit of a rough month. I had a nice upswing until like half the month, and then I had a large drawdown, and then I ended up with a small bounce. But overall, the entire month was really good, and I'm looking to size up my other areas of trading next month because of how well it performed and the pyramiding. It's really well. It's really 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 good, and I'm happy with how I did it. Now I guess I'll stop sharing, and then I'll talk about my break that I did, which I mentioned at the start of this whole thing. So basically, during that drawdown in the middle of the month, I was really emotional, like probably honestly the most emotional I've ever been in my journey, like for like the entire thing. Like I was just so frustrated, and I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. I was just going insane, honestly. Like a little bit of me was going insane. So I said, okay, you know what? I need to focus on the problem. Like, okay, what's the problem? Well, the problem was, my main system that had all the risk, it was growing at a really fast pace from November, December, and the start of January. It was going pretty much parabolic. So my R was getting up really high because I risk a percentage of my account. So it was all going really well. And then I had this big drawdown. And it was really, really yeah, I mean, during this drawdown, I realized the system wasn't complete. Like it had a lot of inefficiencies, and I could have avoided the large drawdown if I had completed the system. Now, during that huge drawdown week, I was trading all this other stuff. You could see I had 275 trades in the month. So I was spread thin, and I didn't have good productivity to actually fix my system or, finalize it. So I decided, okay, I'm really emotional right now. I'm in a drawdown. This is an opportunity to learn where the inefficiencies are in my system. So I decided to just take a week or two off from Discord and Twitter, just completely isolate myself, And honestly, it was like so hard to do because I mean, I love talking to everyone. I love interacting with the community, and trading is so lonely. So, I mean, trading is lonely even when you're talking to people online, but just doing it all by yourself, it's like, man, it's like so lonely. And honestly, like during the break, I had some moments where I'm like, man, I really wish I could talk to some people right now, but it also had a lot of benefits. I was able to, my productivity was, 2x, 3x, like the productivity was really good. I had no distractions. And then I had like literally the next day, I felt a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, just being by myself and only focusing on my main system, not worrying about all the other stuff I was doing. So I really improved the system. I finished it, and now next Monday will be my first day back. Chatting with everyone during the market hours and being social and trading all my other stuff. Um, and I'm really excited, and it was a great experience because honestly, if you haven't isolated, if you like 6 months to 12 months into trading, and I think there's a period where you need to isolate and really focus on yourself because distractions they really slow you down and get you off the wrong path. So you really need to focus on what you know you need to focus on. But yeah, I'm excited to be back. Um, yeah.
Yeah, we're sad to have you back too. It was a I was thinking all this time like Sander was there like working on his system, like it was like
Yeah.
you to come back see what's like what happened, but so it
Yeah.
sounds like
I
you
had
made some progress, yeah.
Yeah, because I was focusing on my system, which is during a certain trading hours, I'm not allowed to trade a lot of the stuff I would have traded not on my break. So like, I don't know, it was like MSGM, you could look up
Oh, I
that
see.
runner. It's like absolutely insane run. And I was like, I had so much FOMO because I couldn't trade it. And I was just like, I gotta focus on my system. Like, what's even the point of trading this if I'm not going to use big risk, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
most important that I focus on my system that actually I'm gonna make real money on.
yeah, 100%, 100%. So now I'll go just over my January and what I've changed. So I'll share the screen right now. This was my January, pretty red and not the best way to start the year. But again, I'm looking at the positives. And I took more trades than I ever took before, like in the month. So it was like December was I think 37 trades, but that one also was because I was trading listed a lot. Before when I was only trading overseas, it was like 20 trades maximum, maybe like 25 max. So this month, yeah, I had a lot of losses. This is why the average win is bad. But again, I was sized down a lot from like my OTC risk. And pretty much the only reason why I lost that much is because I took some OTC trades. And on those I had to use full size because that's my OTC, even though I still sized
Yeah.
down. But they were like for example, if I take a 5 hour gain on the listed and I lose 1 hour on OTC, that's break even. So yeah, that's why R, if we go like by the R, it was, I think it was 0 R, like a 0.4 R gain even
Oh
on
yeah.
basically break even, but yeah, break even if you just take the same risk. So yeah, a lot of trades, and I think like the main lesson is just on the listed device is I stopped like before I was checking like every single device. Like when it dips right away I enter. Now I'm trying to be more disciplined and wait for the high low. So it's like fits perfectly to the Rollins gap and crab strategy. Like when it pulls it open, makes a high and then it makes the little lower high, I mean higher low. That's when I enter. Even though some of them just dip and then go, that's probably like I think of them like just random day one movers, so I can't do anything there. I'm just waiting for the higher low, and then as soon as it says the higher low, I just slap because I know now that the ones that work, it'll be like 5, maybe even 10 hours sometimes, like the way they move. But the ones that I lose is just 1 hour, so this in the long run is gonna work. But
Hmm.
still, it was hard like taking all those trades. So and yeah, I'll go over like few that I took. Few of my trades. First, I will show the OTC trades, the 3 trades that if they work, because I took all of them. If they work how I wanted to be, it would have literally made all my drawdown back. So the first one was this one, and see this one I even have it says here no size. So
Was that the only OTC win of the month?
oh, I think so. I think
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think so. Even yeah, this was the only one I think. And this was 8 hour game. This was 8 hour game.
Yep.
So I took this on a let's see. I think on this day. Oh, it says here 5th. Yeah, on this breakout, like over this. Well, I took it here on this day and swung the next day. So let me remove this. Oh yeah, here this one. Look at this. Ah, it's so painful. So I was watching for this level, like on the 5 pin chart, it looks better here. Or like this level here, above 1-2, I think. So I took it there. I sent my order. They only filled $10 risk. I couldn't take it. It just went. I like it's funny how every time like I would enter like this month, the last month, it would just never go right away. The one I entered, they don't feel me, it just goes, never dips. It was painful to watch. Obviously, I never added because I mean, it looks now that it was like a good ad here over these levels, but it's only I think it's only hindsight. It's in the moment you just don't know. So yeah,
Yeah.
watched all of this run and I sold here. I honestly didn't even care about this. Like I was up like 12 farting, I think, but I didn't care because it was like no size. So I sold here,
Yeah.
it dropped. It was $80 gain, risking $10. So and I went in, I think with $100, like the order that I sent.
Oh,
So yeah.
dang.
Then the next one was this one. This was I think the most like brutal one. Just it completely like it's crazy. So this one I also took. This one probably was like $80 if I filled all. The more I go into the month, the less I use because the less size I use. So this one here. So so yeah, this one made this first move, and then like oh, it's consolidation, like perfect. Like look at this chart, perfect breakout chart. So and I'm looking for the I think 45 level. So when I entered here, the other like the into the close when it broke this level here, and I felt a little bit low. I even added more because I felt low. So I had like good size, very good size. Actually, let me yeah, I had good size. My risk was I didn't, so maybe I risked, like I should have risked 43, but that was just too low, too wide with 45, 43. Like I just wanted a tighter risk. So I was risking 40, 44, but I was sizing for 43.5. At the open, there was like zero volume. It drops. Let's go to the 1 minute. So you see how much it dropped. Like there was zero volume. Like nobody was watching the stock. It drops here. I'm like, well, okay, it failed. Nothing new. It failed. The second I saw this thing, it bounces and then just
So random.
like, what is this? And with my size that I had at 40, basically it was 45, 44. That's what I was sizing for. So this was 10-hour move right here. Like in in 10 minutes. And I think even if I were full size, I would have still held some.
Yeah.
That's what I always do because yeah, it would have been very painful. I think one of my friends, he took the other stock, basically the same stock. He made the same, just different ticker, but the same move. But then he sold a little bit here and then never came back. So that's painful.
Will you
But
still be holding it, or would you have cut it at some
no, I
point?
think probably can't. Yeah, don't think I would. It's very hard to know, but
Yeah.
it never hit the risk. But of course, I would have cut it somewhere here because
Yeah.
this point. It just seems like nobody watching this. Definitely. But yeah, it was very pain. Like at the moment, I think I just left. I just closed the laptop and I just left.
Yeah.
But it would have been even worse if I sized it for 43 and sold. That would have been like I would just. But
Yeah.
I just had, I guess, too wide of a risk. So that was the second one. And then the next one was right at the end of the month. So another one of this was again the stupid stock, the completely dilutive, there's a piece of shit stock. But then out of nowhere, he makes this move. I think they had some news, some good news. I don't read this news. I just see they have a PR or they don't have PR. That's it. But I wasn't watching this. And then I only saw this like here when it already broke the 61 level here. This was like the best. If you enter 61, 60, like perfect swizzle entry, I missed this. But I was like, well, I know it's gonna run to like 75 to like 80. I can just at least catch the smaller gain, but still a gain. So I have so many of those. I have to delete all of them. Where's the? Oh yeah, this one. So and I was like, okay, let me just chase it, but like still the same risk. I took 62 with 60. I sent 4,000 shares order. They filled me 1,000. 30. And then of course never dips, flies.
Oh,
So another one, like it's basically if you enter 61, if I was watching this, 61 with 60, that's 10 move here. It went even higher, 75. So yeah, I mean just like that, like 3 trades. Even though the OGs were shit, it was 3 month making trades. I just missed all of them. Just unfortunate. I don't know. Everything was unfortunate here. And the FNMA, I guess 63 was the best risk. This one I just wasn't watching. So of course it was my mistakes, but Jay just hurt. Like every time see this. And this one actually it held up and I traded this but I sold this here. This one was the kind of a pyramiding, like Xander says. This one I had 5,000 shares right here, risking zero like $2.
oh yeah.
And my plan was out through 60 to 73, risking 70. Like here I could have made 20R if we went to I think 80
Oh wow.
or 85. 85 was 20R. 80 was like 15, I think, or something. So this one could have been a big trade, but
Did you
I
get bad slippage?
I actually yeah I did. But it was still like 1 hour loss.
Oh yeah.
Even though but I was hedging for $2 risk. That's why I didn't like when it's like up the high. Wait, when it's up, yeah, when it's up that high, I can't. I usually don't add to full size already because it's like I can add like a lot here if I want to because I have some from here and like it's like you have to give up all this unrealized and then take another full size. And when you're adding that much size, the slippage gets like even like small slippage now it's big potential
Yeah, yeah.
dollar slippage. So yeah, all of this just all of them are lost and yeah it was very tough with OGCs. That's why I was like I think 13% of my trades were only OGCs this month. So and then that was I want to go over the how I traded all the device. So the way this is how I started trading like after last month. So all of them I just took on a higher low. So this one and of course all of them are day one gappers. So this one I took this on a higher low as soon as it made the higher low. I took it right there. The risk reward was good. I entered 2-3, risking 2-8. I mean 2-9, 2-3. So 2-9 with 2-8. So I was watching my goal was like 320, like the break of the high, and then just hold for more. But yeah, this one I didn't get slippage, so this one didn't work. But you see like how I just don't take it here at the first minute, even though like this case it worked, but I just want to take it more on the higher low because that's I guess more like a confirmation for me. This was another one, and all of them are very quick trades most of the time. So this is another one. Like I took it on a higher low here. The only reason why I took this one that like it literally died all the pre-market is because of this one, this one, this one here. Also the same thing, but then look at how this perfect higher low and this one worked.
Yeah.
I kind of took
The
it.
difference between those two is that one started at 4 a.m. and they like do it a lot where they fade it off pre-market and then they trap it at the open.
Oh, that one.
So look out for that.
Wait, that one started not at 4 a.m.
That one started early
Oh, I see.
or late, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are different.
Then this was another loss.
Because one of my friends really likes to long those that start at 4 a.m. and like fade really deep down because it's like phenomenal
Mhm.
risk reward.
Oh, okay, that's a good to know. Another one, a higher low, and this one was I took 68, using 66. So I tried to go a little bit, but it failed. So all of those are like the grid score is pretty good here. And then I finally had one that worked. So this was that. This was probably I think my best buy trade here. Oops, where is it? Oops, here it is. So this is pretty perfect. Like I waited for there are two cases. Either they pull, then they bounce, and then they form the higher low, or they go up, they drop, and then they form the higher low. Here it was actually double bottom, exactly 26 bottom. So I took it right there right away at 27. I was like, whatever. Like I hesitated for a second, but I'm like, no, I'm not hesitating. So I sent order 27 with 26, and we see pretty crazy score. It went to 8R in 7 minutes,
Wow.
8 minutes. So yeah, I sold here. This was all quarters. So I sold the fourth when it broke the high. It was 4 hour. I think this was six. This ones were eight. And this improvement here was Roland also was in the stock. And before, when I would long the same stock he's in, I would let like his because he was talking on voice too, and I would let his thinking affect mine. But here he
Mm,
was still holding. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, you can go to like 50 cents." I'm like, "I don't care, bro. This is my like setup. My not like it's my thesis. I don't care what you're saying. Even if it goes like $1, I don't care."
yeah, that's
So
good.
as soon as I sold here and then it stopped here when it couldn't go more. I sold it. I'm like, I don't care. And then he ended up holding it. But
Oh,
I mean, it doesn't matter for him because he's like in five other stocks. But this is like my only play. So I'm not gonna, try to like make a home run out of
yeah.
this trade. And
I
actually,
bet I
yeah,
bet you could systematize it because, like you said, there's
I
two
was,
case
yeah,
scenarios where it could,
yeah,
like, pull and higher low, or you could systematize it and at least like see the data on it if it's good or not.
yeah. And the thing is like they're all on day one gappers, so I can also do it like with my other system that I actually
Oh
like.
yeah, yeah,
Like when I go over those trades, I can just, because I'm looking pre-market, I can just see what happened at the open and see if they had the higher low. One
yeah.
trade that let his thing affect me was this one. This was very bad. Like this was a first green day, like pretty like classic for like from the trading tickers too. I had a very good entry here in the morning. Oh, here, pretty good entry. Then I added here even after like this dip. The same like
Hmm.
the risk was low day, and then here I walked outside because I was doing my morning walk.
I
The only reason
remember.
why I did the morning walk was because I switched my mindset from first green day to like a swing. I don't know what was that because Roland was in. He was like saying how they have like some conference something like it can go to like 60. No, he said 10. He said 10. So yeah, this was I think what was this R? It was not great R, not amazing, but when I tracked all this first green days, the average is 3 R. This was I think 4 R. So this is like perfect. I had like if I was in my computer and I was first green day mindset, I I must have sold like here some and then into this move. But I didn't sell
Yeah,
it, and then look what I sold. So yeah, like from like 3 R to 1 R loss. So after that, I learned that and then on HLBZ I didn't listen to anyone but myself. So yeah, that was the only like great win of the month, I guess, that Dubai. And then I had also a system that me and Xander built, but I'm not gonna of course show the thing. I'll just show the executions. So this was the first one. GS. This was my first system trade that me and Xander took. Oh, where is it? Yeah, here. Like it's just nice to think like to not think. It's nice to not think when trading the system. Just
yeah.
entering and just letting it go and just setting the order. So yeah, I won't say anything else. This is the trade, and then this is the one when Xander also shorted when I was
Oh
in.
yeah.
Here, this is the one. I think the only reason why I have two cells is because I think. Oh yeah, this is when I didn't have my Wi-Fi, so it was bad internet. I was selling on my phone.
Yeah, this is the one that I showed you guys previously on this video. I showed you that
Yeah,
I was like flip short. Wait, no, I wasn't long. I was shorting this while you were
yes.
longing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you actually added right here. I just saw your lines, your arrows. You're adding here. I have no idea.
yeah.
But there was also another one that you shorted to. I think it
Oh,
was
and it worked. Yeah,
Son, Soun or something. That was the one when you also bought and then you sold for 2 R and then you shorted at the open or something like that. Yeah. So yeah, the system. Oh, and I can show the stats too for system. So here are the stats. Yeah, I think yeah, it's time to size up because I'm using like $5 risk, $10 risk, and it's like if you have a 3 R, you don't have to have like I think even like less than 40%
yeah. You can have like 30% and be
yeah.
good.
So with this, like it's pretty good. Like when we back tested, I think it was 40%. So
Yeah,
of course, like I mean, it's not just 15 trades, but like I'm pretty sure that 14 is like actually the number. So it's like this is I mean, okay, this is 4 cent because I had the discretionary cells, but the overall is always 3.5. And yeah, I think I'll go like to $50 risk the next month, this month. And even like the usually only three in a row, like it's like three in a row means one trade will cover them. And like I
Yeah,
think the biggest drawdown was like 7 hours, so it's not that. And mostly remember we were like talking about the big stocks. I think the big
yeah.
and the small actually, the small too, the penny stocks.
Oh
Actually,
wow.
I actually did have few. I wish they have the like dollar and less.
Yeah, I wish that
Yeah,
too.
but I had some good trades on those two, like the penny stocks.
Oh yeah, really.
But yeah, so I guess I'll go to like a little bit of up, like $50, and we'll see how it performs next month.
Yeah, and it's probably especially good because the market, like,
Oh yeah,
there's a lot of volume.
that's all. Yeah, it's just I just hope that they give me the entry, my like system
Yeah.
entry before they fly.
Yeah.
And the lesson I learned, like the easiest lesson is never ever I'm going to do the discretion, because I had think two trades or one trade that it went hit my target, but I wanted more. So never again,
Yeah.
especially when I'm sizing up. That's it.
Yeah, when you're sizing up, yeah, it's hard
Yeah,
to
because I
do
was
that.
using like $10 risk, and I can't do that with small risk. But when you size up, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
well now you know. Now you know, so you're ready for big
it took me like I
size.
think 3 4 trades. I did that. Some of them worked, but
Probably yeah, it doesn't work long run.
yeah.
And when the market slows down, it'll be less good.
So okay. Oh, and I guess I can quickly show the trade that made all my on back, because I won't talk too much. So this was it. The February started pretty hot with for OTCs. I did not expect that at all. I didn't expect that at all. But this stock I missed. I have a friend who literally caught like every single first green down this stock, like this. He caught this. I think he caught this gap here. He caught this. He caught like every single move. And finally, I took this one. Like this was they had some naked Churchill's news. I had no idea about that. I just traded the technicals, and like it topped here twice above two, and it had this like kind of like the little 1 day consolidation. Usually they have like 2 3 4 days, but this one just went right away, and they had a very nice like wedge here, and I missed this, like the first entry, but I took a very speculative entry here. It was somewhere here. It was a one. Well, yeah, it was this one. Well, I was sizing for 177, risking 173. Like it's a very like speculative, because then it can easily not work and give me slippage. But then I knew if it works, it's like crazy risk reward, even
How
without
much
not.
did you size full on that?
Yeah, so no, not full. Of course, I was like the confidence was zero. So
Yeah.
my full-time risk, like everyone, I had a good trade. I think it was 10 hour. I was using 150 risk.
Hmm.
This one I was like half of that. It was $71 risk. Yeah, but
Yeah.
of course I
That's
didn't.
still big right
Yeah,
there.
it was funny, because I'm like I have a in the chat when I missed this, I was like, because I'm gonna take 75 here on the dip with 65 risk, and I was like, well, 175 with 165 isn't really a 50 hour potential trade.
Yeah.
Then I take this, and then actually was a 50 hour trade. Well, it went 50 hour trade. So I took this very speculative, and she didn't move right away. I was like, should this like few minutes? I was like praying to God here. I was like, please, please,
Yeah.
please. And then it has this nice little movement to the close. The open is
Oh.
like at this point, like all the year last year, 2022 was the every single breakout, you had a morning shakeout, like every time. So I'm like already prepared for this. So it had this shakeout, like my risk was 73, and the low of this candle was 75. So like 2 cents above my risk, but I still held. Whereas we make these new highs, and at this point, I think I was up. Well, I think it was like 9 or 10 hour, and anyone who was like, I was in a $1,700 drawdown for like since December 3rd. So like, if you're not like if you're thinking about money on drawdown, you would just sell here and take cut almost the whole drawdown. Well, I guess not
Yeah.
because I was sizing seven. Well, like half of the drawdown back in like one trade. But
Yeah.
I was focusing on the chart, and I knew the potential was huge there. Like my goal was here I was saying how like 225 to 240, 250, like at least. So and I held through this, and Sykes bought this here. Then he sold, and then we dumped. And this is the thing which I improved a lot. Before, I remember I had the trade in the summer. I sold right before my risk when it went there. and then it went 20R. I still have it like
Ooh.
record, like I have it in my, like it's called CYGY trade, the biggest mistake in my trading career. It's called like that. So never ever again I'm selling before my. I would rather take slippage, 2 hour slippage. I better take 2 hour slippage than to sell and then miss out on a huge move. Like
Mhm.
that's it, never. So it goes, it makes this dump, and
Wow.
my
That's
risk is
crazy.
the same. 170, 173 is the risk. But the low day is here. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna sell this even like before the low day, which is still above my risk. So I'm like, I don't care. I'll rather take slippage. So it goes there, and it was like there were some big bidder. That's why I hold. No, I just held because my risk was above. Then it
Nice.
bottoms here, and I just had the feeling. I'm like,
This is it.
this is where old me would have sold,
Yeah.
and it's gonna bounce. It's gonna bounce like it's gonna now like slowly grind up, and this is exactly what it did. Like, exactly what it did. Slowly went up, and right when it went up here, it kind of formed this new trigger at 195. So if I wasn't in, I would have 100% taken it here. 195 with 185. This is a good, not amazing risk. Well, it turned out to be amazing risk reward, but at the point you're not expecting like a huge move. Like if it went to like 250, it's still like pretty decent risk reward. But I was not convinced enough to this level to risk to add here on full size. So I didn't add, and I waited for the two ad because it stopped there again with like a lot of size on the ask. So when I added there at two here. Well, you see the reason why it's like this bad because I was doing it on the 5 minute chart. But like I added here with two, and now I risk here. It was still not full size, but it's because if I added like a little bit more, it would have been like 130 risk, and I was not ready for that. Just mentally I couldn't risk that much yet.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was risking 56, but I had 2,000 shares. I added 1,500, so almost doubled my size. I like I had like half of my account in and only risking $50 because from here to here, that's like what is this? This is like five, not five. Let's see. This is like 4 risk reward I'm risking here, or what is it, 3 or 4? Like I'm giving up that unrealized and then a little bit more. So that's how you get like the big size, the pyramiding
Yeah.
basically. I added there, and that was it. Again, I was praying here. Another prayer here was again this like
Oh
the amount
gosh.
of times it did these things. It was just all this time there was like never big bidders, but then it finally went. Everybody stopped here. Jack took here. Everybody just took here, and it went. I swung overnight again. We have the dip, but this is not that severe because obviously it was pretty far from anything. So classic morning shakeout, and then we just go. And this is where I start selling, and the risk reward here is yeah. This is all because of like the way I sized in, like at the beginning, because my size here was I had 186.6 average, and the risk was 185. So you see, this is like every 0.02 move, it's 1 hour, even less than that.
Jeez. That's
I
crazy.
so again, see again, like I knew the risk reward was insane, but I still focused on the chart and never sold. I mean, never sold like all. I only sold like a small position. And the thing about the stock is it never had that speed up move when they just the parabolic move and they just let it go, like all the classic OTC breakouts do. So this was pretty like tough to hold through because every time it would go, it would just stop and like it would always like grind. So that's why I had the sales like after the high. Like you see how I sold here and then here. Because I mean I was still keeping in mind the crazier squad and I didn't want to like, give it all up for just dumps. So I still want to like have a good amount of size there. So I sold here more than half. I sold the rest. And here we had this criminal top right before nine, three, right before three, like two nine. Like come on, I really wanted three, but yeah, I sold there like after we did this, and why don't I have this? This was I don't know why I don't have this, but this was a sell right when everybody shorted here, the last 2/7 here, right like when it dropped this everybody shorted. I think it was like 45 for score. So yeah, I sold there and it just dumped. So perfect sell here. I didn't like hold through this because I just knew it was done. Like you just
Yeah.
so yeah, it was 41R, like completely out of nowhere. Like when I was buying here, I had no idea it was gonna be that. That's again the thing is like I never think it's gonna be my best trade. the trade that was my best trade. Like every trade,
Yeah.
amazing trade. Never was a big trade. I expected this to be probably like 10 out max, 10 out like crazy. But this just went, and I just, again, if I took like let's say a wide real, like if I took 180 with 170, this was not the craziest score. So I was just thinking not
Mhm.
in terms of my average, but in terms of like how everybody else was in. So that's how I let it go and just completely went nuts. And yeah, 41 hour, all my drawdown back in one trade. Like
That's
always, like
crazy.
and even like higher. So my drawdown was 1700 and this was 2900. So and this was like half of the size. Now imagine if I use full size, it was like 6K trade right here.
Yeah, but full size with that kind of stop at the start,
No, no,
that's
I mean that's just I mean for me full size, it's not like it's huge. It's like I would take no, I took 2000 shares. If I took 4000 shares, it's not that big of a difference for the stock.
okay.
Yeah, it's not like I'm
Yeah.
jack size yet. Yeah, like for him, of course, he actually slapped it right here. So he kind of chased, but he can do that. So yeah, this was the trade literally like last Friday. I closed it, and just it's again funny how like on OGC I make my journal back. I wanted to make consistently unlisted, but again this came, so I'm obviously taking it. But still, that doesn't mean I'm like not focusing on listed. Although on these 3 days, of course, I was not focusing on listed because my trade came and I don't care about anything else. It's only
Yeah.
watching that trade literally like every minute of the day. But for example, tomorrow, like on Monday, I'll still be watching the device and everything. So yeah, just trying to combine like those things, like the pre-market and the open and then the afternoon, how like trying to like have some kind of a process, not just one type of the trader.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. This was this actually also crazy run, I would say, like the swing 1700 and then
Yeah.
my
I
profit
mean,
was
big
oh,
picture, it's not that much of a drawdown. Like it's like what,
oh
like
yeah, yes,
10%,
yeah.
20%. But yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
not big of a- but yeah, we're going back to the new highs finally.
Let's go.
And also another thing I want to say, this is like mostly psychology. When I'm like I was talking to Jay the other day about this. When I closed this trade yesterday, yeah, yesterday on Friday, and I knew I was up like, $2,900 is a ton of money in real life, right? But I don't think about this like a real life because this is here in this game.
Yeah.
I closed it, I'm like, nice. Like there I was like, it wasn't like I was like crazy happy. Like it's just such a weird feeling. But then
Yeah.
when I was losing, even I was losing like what, $10, $20, $30. I would feel so bad. Like I remember one day,
Mm-hmm.
10th listed loss. Like in the morning, I'm like buy like they buy it does work. I'm like, fuck, what am I supposed to do? Why I'm not winning? And like I felt like it was literally
I
like
know exactly
almost
what you
like
mean.
depression. But then I get this trade, I'm like, nice.
Yeah, it sucks. It sucks so much how the losses are always worse than the
Yes, I
wins.
always say
Like
that.
the lows are so much worse than the highs.
Yes, it is like the risk reward there doesn't make it up. Like the win rate,
Yeah.
even like if you lose a lot, but then you win once, yeah, the profits you're gonna win, but then the emotions kind of they're so weird.
Yeah, it's
It's
weird.
like it's like how I'm reading this book, Relentless, and like it says like how like let's say when Kobe had a game, and he won the game, he didn't care because that's what he's supposed to do. But when he lost the game, he would constantly think about it, think what he did wrong and everything.
Yeah.
The same thing here, like yes, like we win, but that's what we're supposed to do. It's not like something
Yeah.
crazy. And when you lose, like you think that you're not supposed to lose, and then you're like, oh, but I should like why what do I need to change? So it's always like that. It's just this is the tough part. Like legit, like I closed the train, I was like, yeah, nice. Like just, it was for so weird. It's like so
Yeah.
oh my bone.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, this is I guess the very like I never thought about this before. Like I think I found out this
Yeah.
a few months ago. Like when I was in another drawdown. It's so weird. Like it's just not logical.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Sucks.
But yeah, this was a
Yeah, this is an awesome
this,
episode.
yeah.
Probably have to end it here because I have to go eat dinner,
Yeah.
but awesome. I'm glad if we catch up and this was a crazy month. I really hope the market continues to be hot. I mean, it clearly is correlated with SPY and like the overall markets. They're on a rally and things are looking good. So I mean, if it continues, then we'll be good. So
Yeah,
yeah,
when it goes up, the longs and shorts profit from that, not just longs.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. The fades are really nice and opportunities are there. If it continues all year, it's gonna be a crazy
oh
year for
yeah,
everyone.
oh yeah, please.
Yep. See you guys later. Drop a like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and we'll see you next time.
See you.